On trends today, new INEC chairman suggests IREV is irrelevant. Abia Governor Alex Oti issues stern warning ahead of 2027. Kaduna Internal Security Commissioner's phone stolen during security event. And Nigeria's Super Eagles move up in latest FIFA ranking. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Trends with LJE, where we analyze major stories shaping leadership, justice, and economic growth across Nigeria and Africa. My name is Amoyeni Ojeifu. Now, don't forget you can also be a part of the conversation by following us on all our social media platforms on at LJE Nigeria. Joining me is a guest whom I shall be introducing after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Camera rolling. Light set. Sound check. And action.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's program, a program where we get to talk about the
custody.
daily lawyers
Around
dissect
the
legal
world.
issues with intent to educate.
This is the perfect space to create professional quality videos, recording news, podcasts, and all media content. With top-of-the-line cameras, studio lighting, soundproof spaces, we provide everything you need for a seamless shoot. Our fully equipped studio ensures high-quality production every time. Enjoy a comfortable, air-conditioned environment with professional-grade gear and expert support. Contact us now or visit our Abuja location to reserve your spot.
Welcome back from the break. This is still Trends with LJ, and I have in the studio with me Dr.
It's a pleasure to always be here.
Okay, so let's move on to our first story. In what appears to be a bold start to his tenure, the new INEC chairman, Professor Josh Amupiton, has stirred public attention after he openly questioned the integrity of the electoral system left behind by his predecessor, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Speaking during a briefing at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja, Amupiton revealed that his team found no clarity on the purpose or functionality of the IREF portal. Let's take a look at the video.
Court. We found Bivas and IREF was to ensure the integrity of the election, and that is the purpose of technology all over the world. I believe what happened in 2023, which was subsumed as a glitch, before we went into the election, my own understanding and based on the review of the decisions of Supreme Court, we found that there was no clarity as to the purpose of BIVAS, of IREF. Not until the Supreme Court came out to say that IREF was an electronic collation system. And that position was not properly brought out before the election. BIVAS and IREF was to
Dr. John,
ensure
how do
the
you react to
integrity
this
of the
statement by the new INEC chairman.
First of all, it is laudable that he's been able to do some research to a certain extent. How extensive and in-depth that research is yet to be known. But it's laudable that he has done that before assuming the office of INEC chairman, because like our elders say, if you must know where you're going, you must know where you're coming from. But on the other hand, I think it is too quick for him to be quick to criticize the work done by his predecessor. The idea is, whether we like it or not, it was under the watchful eye of Mahmood Yakubu that Nigeria's electoral system, electoral setup witnessed some innovation, so to say, with the introduction of BIVAS, the introduction of IREF, and all of that. And it has shown that we have not been stagnant in terms of electoral innovation. But what is evident is that the technology lacks, has some, will I say, loose areas. And now what we need to ask ourselves is that why didn't the technology deliver the kind of results expected.
Yeah.
Now, hinging his argument on the judgment of the Supreme Court, I do not know, or I cannot say that whatever was presented at the Supreme Court was technically proficient enough for the Supreme Court to come to that conclusion. Because when you look at the also the technicalities of law in terms of admissible evidence and arguments from both for and against, sometimes you will discover that there are some lacunas that doesn't necessarily, and that's why when certain judgments are given, you get certain reactions, because the average person will be like, no, common sense should suggest blah, and the court is saying X. You know, so I think it's too early for him. Maybe he was trying to impress the senators to say that, yes, I'm the best man for the job. No doubt. His credentials are impeccable, maybe intimidating to some, but I think what will truly speak for Amokpito is work done.
Okay.
Anambra elections is in November. That will be the first litmus test for him. How quickly he gets down to work and reorganizes the Independent National Electoral Commission to suit his approach to the election is a different ball game, but I think it is too quick. If he had settled down and done what I call a technical review of all aspects of INEC as an organization, and then also take the various reports that came in from civil society, NGOs, monitoring groups, especially with regards to the latest rounds of elections that were held before the exit of Mahmoud, and also get technical inputs on the plus and minus of IREV, plus and minus of BVAS, and then put together a comprehensive review document of all of that and say, look, this is what I met on ground. This is my assessment of what is on ground. This is the expected result if we are still going to run elections with what is currently on ground. But if we want better results, this is what I recommend: A, B, and C. I think it will make some sense. But at this point, you have not assumed office. You're talking now. I do not know how the Senate took his response, and from what perspective they took his response. Whether was he talking as an independent assessor of past election, or was he talking having some premonition that he was going to occupy the seat of Independent National Election? Like a guest once said on one of our shows here, that, look, the mere fact that he was appointed from the president still puts a question mark on his appointment. Not necessarily his person, but on his appointment, because elections are supposed to be free, fair, transparent, and run by an independent, underline, independent body.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to our next story. Governor Alex Oti has come out to strongly dismiss rumors of his defection to another political party, and has also sent a stern warning to anyone planning to manipulate the 2027 gubernatorial elections. Speaking at a public event, Governor Oti declared those planning to manipulate the Abia State governorship elections result in 2027 should first write their will, because this Abia State will not be intimidated by them. Let's take a look at the video.
People are around him. So they must take over the state. They will write results. The only advice I have for them is that if they truly want to write results, they should write something else before that time. You know what it is? Their will. Because this is our state. Nobody can intimidate us.
So, Dr. John, with the rising wave of
having said that,
Governor Oti can truly remain politically independent?
Governor Oti is not saying anything that we haven't heard from even those that have defected now. Okay. Some of them swore that they will never leave the PDP, but today we hear them singing the song of the APC. OT, let's not forget. Let's look, if we are to go into OT in-depthly, he left ABGA.
Yes.
To join the Labour Party. Before ABGA, he was in a party. Before he joined ABGA. So he cannot clearly come out and say he doesn't have the tendency of defecting. Even though he may be trying to calm frail nerves, especially after the defection of Pitamba and, of course, Duye Diri of Bayelsa State. So that is understandable. But I have a problem with that statement. Anybody that intends to should write their will. That statement, that I don't know. Our political leaders should be very careful the kind of statements they make. Maybe because he sits in the seat of governor, has some level of impunity, and he thinks that's why he can make those kind of statements. Hey, for God's sake, we're in a civilized society. I like to stress that we're not just in a civilized society, we're in the 21st going into the 22nd century. So, and we are not, he may be a governor of Abia, but he must realize that his statements go as far as the four corners of the universe. So he must understand that he is not just talking to the people of Abia, he's talking to Nigeria, he's talking for Nigerians in diaspora, Abians in diaspora. And you cannot make certain statements that tend to suggest that
Actually sounds like threatening.
Exactly. So he should find better ways of communicating his position, even if he wants to affirm and assure the people of Abia that he stands strong and his government will not be ruffled or tousled in the 2027 elections. But beyond that, I mean, we need to be very careful with our communication.
Okay. And now to our third story. This one sounds almost unbelievable, but it happened. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Barrister Sule Shaibu, reportedly had his mobile phone stolen right in the middle of a security event. According to reports, the incident occurred in Kaduna Metropolis during a high-level gathering meant to address safety, surveillance, and security challenges in the state. The event was attended by top government officials, law enforcement officers, and community leaders, yet somehow the state sub-security officer lost his phone inside what should have been one of the most secure venues in Kaduna State.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be comical or to encourage theft,
Okay.
but the Internal Security Commissioner's phone being is small game as compared to a Hilux truck being stolen from
Forces headquarters.
That's the most recent one.
Yes.
Inside the force headquarters.
Yes.
A Hilux truck
was stolen.
Yes. Before that, the National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Ribadu went to pray at the National Mosque. His Hilux truck was stolen.
Outside.
So I mean,
what does this mean for the people when our security?
I don't know how you want me to answer this question, because if the truck of Nuhu Ribadu, National Security Advisor, could be stolen right there at the National Mosque, then inside the people who are the security themselves, Louis Eded House, Force Headquarters here in Abuja, a truck has gotten missing. Up till now, the Nigerian Police Force has not told us whether they've recovered the truck, who took the truck, how they recovered that, and then Internal Security Commissioner, sorry, just go and buy a new phone. I'm sorry.
Okay, I hope he gets your message. And Nigeria Super Eagles have moved up 4 places to 41st in the world and 5th in Africa in latest FIFA men's ranking released on Friday. The rise follows back-to-back wins in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers after victory over Lesotho in Polokwane and a 4-0 home triumph against Benin Republic in Uyo. Dr. John, quickly, how is this positive when we have not even qualified for
the
World
No, I mean, beating Benin Republic here by 4-0, qualifying for the CAF qualifying series. Even though we were hoping to automatically qualify for the World Cup. Puts Nigeria in good stead. Okay. Now the question is how will Nigeria perform in the qualifying series, in the playoff series, I beg your pardon, in the playoff series to be able to qualify for the 2026 now. And if they keep up the kind of performance we saw them put up at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic, then the likelihood is that Nigeria will further move up the rankings and, of course, most importantly, get to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And that in itself is another pedestal to further boost Nigeria's rankings, depending on the Super Eagles' performance at the World Cup when they qualify for the World Cup.
Hopefully we get there. And that's where we wrap it up on today's edition of Trends with LJE. Thank you, Dr. John, for being a part of the program again.
Always my pleasure.
And thank you to our viewers for always joining us. Don't forget, you can also follow us on all our social media platforms on at LJE Nigeria. My name is Omoyeni Ojeifo.